So recently I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, yo, my guy, how did you get into Microsoft in your first year? You must be a god or something, right? And to them, I would always say, well, thank you. Yes, I am a god. Just kidding. What I would actually tell them would be a whole long-winded conversation, and I keep having to repeat myself for every new person. So because I'm lazy, as a software engineer should be, I've made this video so now I can just share this with people. So the first question is, which big N even hire first year, second year students? So here's a list of all the big N. If you don't know, big N is basically the big companies in software engineering. So big N SWE companies, that is. So Amazon no longer has really a first year program. They have a program where you have to apply as a high school senior, and then they give you an internship in your first year. But since you're watching this video, and based on the title and knowing myself, I mean, I completely missed it because I do not have the hindsight to look for something 2 years in advance. You've probably already passed that point, so yeah, we're gonna ignore Amazon here. Facebook does have a program, but it's only 8 weeks, and then you build an app that doesn't even go into the Facebook. That's like completely irrelevant to Facebook code bases. So I just don't see a point in going to Facebook. So Facebook's also gone. Bye-bye. This leaves two companies, Microsoft and Google. Microsoft has the Microsoft Explore program, and Google has the Google Step program. Forging! Okay, so the first question that always came to my mind when I went on these websites was, isn't this just for like minority people? Isn't this they're not gonna hire me. I'm not a minority. How's this gonna work? I'm not a woman. I'm not a girl. I mean, I could sound like a girl, but I'm not a girl. Fuck, that was awful. Like, the websites just plaster everywhere, and all the pictures and stuff, they just say, oh, these people are encouraged to apply and stuff. So basically, don't take it as a discouragement. It's just a factor, right? So if you're a minority, it's just a factor. So you're not going to get in automatically if you're just a minority. You need to pass their other bars as well. But yeah, so if two people are equal and one is white, one is a minority, minorities are going to get it. I'm sorry. But yeah, don't be just discouraged to apply because you're not a minority. And yeah, don't be discouraged to apply because you think you're just going to get in because you're a minority. So just apply anyways, right? It's not as big of a factor as you may think, even though it does matter. Okay, so a big misconception is that you need to reach like a certain point to be able to apply to big N, like first year and second year programs even. Like it's not that deep. It's not like you need to be like number one in the country. You don't like need a master's degree to get into big N, okay? Sorry, I meant a mains degree to get into big N. What you actually need is just like willingness to show that you like learning, basically. So even if you like projects, do projects and stuff, do things that show that you love learning. So do a lot of like different programming languages and things like that. That's and like clubs and things similar to that. That's what they really care about. They don't need you to have like $1 million or anything like that. Okay, I can go way more in depth about projects in another video if you guys like. So what do you need on your resume? Firstly, do not write an essay on a resume, okay? It's 1 page and just all bullet points. This is not an essay writing class. It's not English. It's not that difficult. Just 1 page. That's all it takes. And don't at least put some effort into it. Don't just have empty white space everywhere. Fill up that 1 page to the best of your ability. Just imagine that you're a recruiter and you have thousands of these, and then see if yours would actually stand out, okay? That's the important part. In general, for your resume, I would suggest having more quantifiable data if you can fit it in, or if it's actually relevant. So for example, if you had a work experience and you sped up their website by 20%, you need to write that. If you gained them like 1 million other new users, you need to write that. And yeah, any kind of quantifiable data. So in regards to structure, first you're going to put your name, and then you're going to put links underneath, social media links to like LinkedIn and GitHub. Do not put your Instagram, do not put your Facebook. Separate your work and your family and friends, okay? Under that, you're gonna put your school and then the graduating date. So the important part here is the graduating date, because companies want to actually know that you are a first year and you're not just a third year posing as one and you didn't miscategorize yourself when you applied. So it's very important to put that first, just to make their lives easier, to make your recruiters' lives easier. Right under that, it's subjective. You can switch up the rest of them around as the way you think is better, but I would personally put your work experience under that, because your work experience, especially if it's relevant, it shows that you have had experience with this before. So especially if you have some coding experience, or if you have had some tutoring, some kind of TA work or anything like that, that'll go in your work experience, and it shows that you have actually been paid for this before, so you're at the level to get hired. Yeah, so underneath that, I would put projects, and then under that, I would put your achievements, and then achievements are basically things you get awards for. For example, if you came number one in like a hacking competition, or like a hackathon, or like if you came number one in a competitive programming competition, or like a math competition, or anything like that, you'll put that in the achievement section. And then underneath that, you will put your skills. So for the skills section, you want to mostly do this because there's going to be robots that are going to be classifying your resume, and they look for keywords. So if you know there's a keyword that the position needs you to have, just put that in your resume, because it will make the robot classify you into a better stack of people. So it's not really that important for the recruiters themselves. They won't really look too much into the skills section. They mostly look at your projects to see you actually using the skills. So for skills, just put what keywords you think will be relevant. So there are 3 different ways to get your resume actually noticed in front of a recruiter, so they actually know that you exist and actually notice you. The first way is through referrals. So you should probably go up to somebody, preferably a full-time employee, and just tell them, "Hi, send job," and they will hopefully be nice and actually send you a job. Don't go to me, okay? Do not go to the comment section. You could ask interns, but it's better if you ask a full-time employee, because obviously the company has put in more effort to getting them hired, and they value that person more than they would value an intern. So their words are like 10 times more important than an intern's words. The second way is through your campus recruiters. Especially if you go to a school that's a target school, you will definitely have campus recruiters, and you will have people there that their sole job is to hire from your university. So if you can find their email, or if you can meet them, if there's any events or something like that, that'll be beneficial, because you can give them your resume and they will make sure that they see it, and the upper recruiters actually see your resume. I'm sorry if you go to a school that doesn't have that. It's not like an end-all game or anything, but if you do have one, use it. It's beneficial. The third way is through events such as hackathons and programming competitions. Obviously, these aren't mandatory, but if you go to one, especially if you go to a big one, if there's a school nearby that's really career focused, you should go to their hackathon. For example, I go and Crash Waterloo hackathons because they have the best recruiters and stuff, and recruiters of the best companies there. So go to those hackathons. You will meet recruiters there. You can give them your resume, and they will hopefully lead it to upper recruiters. This is extremely beneficial, especially if you actually do well at the hackathon or the programming competition, because they will have some kind of benchmark to how good you are. about interviews? Firstly, the common thread between both the companies in regards to interviews is that they will not ask you LeetCode hards, okay? It'll be easy to medium level. If you're not familiar with LeetCode, it's a website where you practice coding questions. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the coding questions will not be past the level that you should know as a first year or second year students. So it'll probably be similar to Data Structure 1 or whatever equivalent course you have in your university if you're a first year, and then Data Structure 2 if you're an Algorithm 2 if you have if you're a second year student. The rest of it will depend on the company, so we can do some company independent advice. Like the transition. So first we're going to start with Microsoft. The reason for that is because I'm a Microsoft Explore intern, so I inherently know a little bit more about Microsoft than I do about Google, about Microsoft Explore. So the way Microsoft does their interviews is that you will do a phone call, and then you'll get flown out to Seattle, which is pretty neat, and you will do an interview there. Yeah, so in the phone call, you will just be asked mostly questions just to weed out people that are like obviously lying on their resumes, and you might be asked just small design questions. So it'll mostly be questions about interpersonal skills. For example, when was a time that you had difficulty with a coworker and how did you manage it? You just have to show that you're good at actually talking and communicating, and you are personable, I guess is the word. Yeah, outside that, you will not be asked very technical questions. You might be asked like a question that's like design a website, what technologies would you use? And yeah, things like that. So if I ask you a design question, just keep in mind you always want to design to the customer. So you want to ask them as many questions as possible to actually figure out what they want and who you're designing for and what they want. After that, you're going to get flown out to Seattle, and then there you do 2 rounds of interviews. Depending on your resume, it might be more on a technical heavy as opposed to interpersonal heavy. Since my resume was quite technical heavy, they gave me 2 technical questions back to back. They were not that hard, as I said before. It'll be easy questions. And outside that, they again gave me more interpersonal questions like tell me about a time when you were leading a group and how did you deal with somebody that didn't want to do the work and things like that. Yeah. What about Google? So the way Google does it is that you will have 2 technical interviews back to back. They'll both be technical, so you will mostly be asked questions, a coding question. It will again be LeetCode Easy or LeetCode Medium, and then you go to the hiring committee, and if the hiring committee is on the fence, you will be you might have to do a 3rd interview, and then if you do well on that, you'll make it, and if you don't, you'll get rejected. So yeah, the placements are guaranteed, so if you make it past the interviews, you will definitely get a placement. You will actually be an intern at Google. It's not like the other Google internships where placements are not guaranteed and you get rejected in the placement round. So yeah. That's the video. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and hit the bell icon. I swear I will not be spamming your video feed, and I will hopefully do quality videos from now on, and I will not be hitting you guys with any sort of advertisement. I won't be asking you to go to algomaster.com or anything like that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye.